All right. Hello again, Avengers, and welcome to another exciting daily vlog. This is day 2. I think for now, I'm just going to do kind of numerical days, and then if that starts getting annoying, I might start just going, this is daily vlog for January 2nd, 2024. Or something like that. But for right now, I'm kind of interested to see how long of a streak I can keep going. It'd be cool if I could do a year of daily vlogs. I have no idea if that is even feasibly possible. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Today, if you guys are ever wondering what it is when I'm like messing with stuff here, I'm not going to move my camera because it's a pain in the ass to get back in place. But I can lift it up, though. This is my water that I keep on this thing. And I have these little desks that I put... I'm in a recliner. It has these really nice, big, thick arms. And on the ends of them, it has these little places where I can put these tables. So I put these tables on there. And my right one over here has my mouse and basically most of the other stuff that I tend to interact with. Like I keep my drinks on that as well, which is really weird because then I will have to like move my drink around so I can move my mouse, and it's just how my brain works. And then on the other one, I have my keyboard. There we go. So yeah, and I keep meaning to get because I have the one on the right here. I have a mouse pad on it. Because it just works better with... Like, I have a good mouse that I could use on just about anything, and now I have all this dust on me. I have a really nice kind of high-end mouse that I could use on just the thing, but I like kind of the tactileness of the mouse pad. And I want to get another one for my other little table, the thing, to go underneath my keyboard. Just because I don't know. I don't like the feeling, I guess, of the kind of like cold lacquer, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like it has, well, in this one, because I've been using it for years now, the lacquer is starting to peel off, and it's just like regular plastic underneath it, but it's not the most high quality thing in the world. But it works for exactly what I want it to be. And then when I need to get up, I can just rotate them, and I can get up, and then I rotate them back. And back when I had a wired mouse and keyboard, I used to have to like pick them up and put them on the desk in that, so I could get out. Otherwise, I'd be trapped by cords because I have to go that way to leave. Because this is just the wall, and I can't go this way. So to get to the rest of my room, I have to go that way. Anyway, so yeah, whenever the mouse pad gets crooked, I go and I refix it. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today. Is something I literally just came up with as the lights were hitting me in the face, which is migraines fucking suck. And I was actually talking to my therapist about it today because I am a healthy individual. No, but I legit was talking about, I got diagnosed with migraines when I was in 5th grade. And I developed them because I had a teacher that liked to call me out in front of the class. And I don't know if she outright like said the word that you're lying or something like that, but she really liked to kind of dance around the subject of calling me out in front of the class and saying that she didn't believe me fairly regularly. And fun fact, being called a liar was for a very, very long time a trigger for my PTSD. And I didn't understand why, because I had repressed the memory and had complete amnesia of the event that caused it. When I was finally kind of dealing with the trauma and everything in my mid-20s, I realized that the reason I have such a large problem with people calling me a liar was the person that abused me kept me silent by saying no one would ever believe me, which is a remarkably common thing for victims of child abuse to be told. is, yeah, you're a kid and I'm an adult. So if you tell anybody, no one's going to believe you and they're just going to think that you're a liar. So don't tell anybody. So yeah, it was as a trigger for my PTSD all the way back then. And so I started developing migraines, and I would miss like at least a day of school a week due to like crippling migraines. And for a while, like my parents didn't know what to think because they kind of just went on the thing of like, oh, he just doesn't want to go to school. Do you have a test today? By the way, it's a great way to help your kid develop a lot of neuroses. Is to blame every time that they feel sick on them not wanting to do something. Not that I have any issues with that, but yeah. So I would miss like a day or two of class a week for all of fifth grade. And I had no idea it was because of this teacher because I wasn't smart enough back then. I was a fifth grader and I was dealing with other things like the fact that everybody hated me at school. But yeah, so I was diagnosed with migraines and I was in the fifth grade and I have struggled with them for the rest of my life. And when my panic disorder and all the other mental disorders got bad enough that I couldn't be able to function, the migraines have just gotten progressively worse to the point where now I get migraines at least 3 or 4 times a week. And a lot of times I will have migraines, like multiple migraines in a day, which I'm not 100% sure about how you measure when a migraine starts and ends. But I will like wake up, spend a few hours unable to open my eyes, and then I will finally start feeling better a few hours later, and then later on in the day, all that stuff will come back, or different migraine symptoms will come back, and it'll take me a while to realize, oh shit, I'm having another migraine. So I don't know if that counts as the same migraine or not, but anyway, they're remarkably uncomfortable and life changing. But a lot of people, first of all, don't understand what a migraine is. Because a lot of people just think, oh, it's a really bad headache. And it's a really just a simple way for people to kind of belittle and dismiss people that suffer from migraines. It's like, oh, it's just a headache. I have headaches all the time. Take some Tylenol. It's not what a migraine is. I used to know all the medical stuff about what actually causes migraines and that. I've forgotten all of it. I'm sure smarter people on the internet can tell you what actually causes them. But the symptoms are not just pain. The most common symptom that most people recognize from migraines is intense pain, but it's coupled with quite a few other things. And one of the more commonly associated ones is a sensitivity to light. And again, a lot of people are like, oh, you mean like a hangover? Not really. When you have like a really, really bad migraine, it's not so much that light hurts, it does. But your entire body will do everything it can to avoid it because the pain is so extreme and it's so uncomfortable. Like, you will have a hard time. It's not just like it hurts to open your eyes. Your brain won't let you open your eyes very far because pain is how our body tells us to stop doing something bad. Like, that's the whole purpose of pain, is to basically go, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. And the higher the amount of pain, the more that our brain understands, oh, we really don't want to do that. It's one of the reasons why we have reflexes. Reflexes are a phenomenally interesting aspect of our body because what they are is there are certain instances where if you had to wait for the amount of time it takes for a nerve impulse to go from like your fingertips to your brain, for your brain to interpret it and then send another impulse back to tell you to remove your hand from the fire, you would cause major permanent damage to your hand. And so we have these interesting things. We have these like relay stations all over our body so that if a stimulus is strong enough, our brain won't actually be involved in it at all. and our reflexes will kick in, and we'll do something real fast. And so, yeah, when you have intense pain that is significantly increased by light, your brain kind of takes over a little bit, and it makes it extremely difficult to open your eyes. Other aspects of migraines that are not related to pain are sometimes described as are called auras. And one of the unique things about some people that get migraines is you can actually get the auras without the pain. And sometimes that's because you're actually not experiencing the pain. And for chronic pain sufferers like me, it may just be that your brain has decided not to acknowledge the pain. Because that's another thing that happens with chronic pain is once the pain becomes sustained long enough, your brain will just stop telling you that you're in pain. The pain hasn't stopped, and your body will still react to the pain. Like I walk with a limp because I have a degenerative hip disorder. And sometimes it's very painful. And sometimes it's not. And sometimes it should be painful, but it's not. And I still walk with a limp because my body is still experiencing the pain from bone effectively rubbing on bone in my hip. But it's so common that sometimes my brain will just go, you know what, fuck it. I'm not even going to tell him. He knows. He knows. So I'm not even going to tell him. But if my body doesn't limp, my body thinks that I'm going to get even more pain. So the limp will still be there whether I am feeling the pain or not. And that means that the pain is still there. And I will still react to it. My brain won't tell me it's there. So sometimes you only get the auras because your brain's just not telling you about the pain. And other times you just get the auras because migraines are fucked up. But migraine auras can be really weird. Some of them can feel kind of dissociative. The one that I get the most often is I have double vision as a side effect of my first instance of serotonin syndrome that we didn't realize was serotonin syndrome. We just thought that it was a bad reaction to meds. I got put on a drug called Effexor, which I cannot remember the actual name. That's the brand name of it. And I'm not saying that it's a bad drug or anything like that. I'm saying it didn't work for me. Thank you, phone. See, this time I was smart enough to actually put my phone to where I can turn it off when it starts playing my Power Rangers alarm. By the way, that's just a reminder for me to take my pills, which I took before starting this so that I wouldn't have to stop in the middle. If anyone's wondering why I have the Power Rangers randomly playing during the day, that's what I do. So anyway, I developed double vision way back when I was 19 after taking Effexor. And fun fact, Effexor doesn't cause double vision. And so my doctor just assumed, well, you know, maybe the Effexor caused some issues with the muscles in your eye, and maybe you just have a slight lazy eye, and so it's manifesting as double vision. Maybe that's it. And that's what we kind of wrote it off as. Many years later, when I was finally diagnosed with serotonin syndrome, I looked through all of the different symptoms, and double vision is one of them. So we know where it came from. But one of the things that you can get as a migraine aura is double vision. And for me, what happens is I effectively get triple vision, where I will look at something and I will see kind of a shadowy version of it above, and then kind of a translucent version of it below. And depending on what I'm looking at, like if it's a picture, it's generally not the worst thing in the world. It just looks like there's a weird kind of outline to the picture. If it's text, I can't read it because it's basically like they've printed over the text 3 times. And depending on how bad it is, because it'll like offset itself. So sometimes it'll be far enough that it's not even the same type that's overlapping. It's this line is overlapping with the line above it and the line below it, and the line above it is interact. And so it's basically 3 separate lines of text all superimposed over each other. and it's remarkably difficult to deal with. There are other things you can get from migraine auras as well. That's just the one that I'm most familiar with because I kid you not, every time I get a migraine, every time my brain will not learn, I'm surprised. Because I'll sit there and I'll wake up, because I get headaches all the time too. I get headaches and then I also get migraines. And so I'll wake up with a headache and go, okay, is this a food headache because I haven't eaten, because I'm terrified of food, because my brain hates me? Is this a water headache because I just don't like drinking water? That's why I keep water next to my desk, so that anytime I am thirsty, instead of trying to find something else, the closest thing to me is water, and it forces me to drink water. So I'm like, is this a dehydration headache? Is this a hunger headache? Is this a stress headache? You know, I have to kind of go through this mental list of, all right, what is causing this headache? Did I actually hit my head in my sleep because I had a seizure? Like, it's this long list of stuff of, okay, which version of the headache is it? And as I'm sitting here trying to figure out what it is that I need to do to make the headache stop, I will start getting the other aspects of the migraine. Like, I'll turn on a light and my eyes will instantly shut. And I'm like, ooh, that's unpleasant. I guess today is an unusually bright day, despite the fact that I live in a basement with no natural light, and the light that I use is the same light I've always used. Apparently, light has just changed its properties for a day. That's cool. Or, like, I'll take my phone out to read something, and you'll be like, ooh, apparently my phone is broken because I can't read it. And yeah, every single time it takes me like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll start getting nauseous, and I'm like, oh, fun. So is that have I not eaten? Have I not drank? Because, fun fact, not eating can make you sick to your stomach, and so can being dehydrated. Or is this a stress thing? And then I will finally get to the point of, oh, this is a migraine. Lovely. And then I can start dealing with it. Another fun fact, most medications on the market that are used to treat migraines also trigger serotonin syndrome. So I can't use them. And other things like Aleve, I can't take, not because it does anything with serotonin syndrome, but it has its caffeine in it, and caffeine causes panic attacks for me. So yeah, basically the only painkillers I can take are Tylenol and ibuprofen. So acetaminophen and whatever ibuprofen is, I can't remember what the actual generic. I think ibuprofen is ibuprofen is the medical term. There's an actual name brand of it. Advil, that's what it is. Anyway, so I can take like acetaminophen and ibuprofen, and that's really it. Also can't take antihistamines because they mess with serotonin levels. So yeah, the amount of medication that I can actually take to improve my situation is very, very small. And my body reacts to medication extremely quickly, and I develop tolerances instantly. Like I had sinus surgery because one of my sinuses was completely impacted with polyps. So yeah, they had to go in, they had to like roto-rooter it all out. And while they were there, they also did, I can't remember what it's called. Basically, they stuck some balloons in my sinus passages and inflated them to make them bigger. But what that involves doing is basically breaking a crap ton of bones in your face. And it wasn't like, they didn't take a hammer or anything. Like I said, they put balloons in there and expanded them. So they weren't like shattered or anything. They just cracked them so that they would grow larger. So I would have larger sinus passages. So it'd be easier for them to drain and everything like that. But it meant that they broke my face. And for recovery, I was given, I think it was Vicodin. I was given an opioid. Which I'd never been on, or I'd had liquid codeine once, and that was not a pleasant experience for me, so I never did it again. And that was, the hospital I went to gave me liquid codeine for strep throat, because they used to give opioids out like they were candy. And I had this massive bottle of it. It's like this big. I took one dose of it. It knocked me on my ass, and I swore I'd never use it again. But this was Vicodin, and so it was different, and I was in a shit ton of pain. So my first dose of Vicodin was life changing because opioids are technically the only medication that actually stops pain. Everything else doesn't actually do anything to the pain. It just changes like how you deal with it. Like ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory. A lot of pain that we experience is because things start swelling and pushing on nerves. So the reason that ibuprofen does what it does is it just lowers inflammation. So one of the reasons why it works relatively well for headaches, because a lot of headaches are caused just by swelling somewhere and pressing on something. So that's what ibuprofen does. Acetaminophen actually interrupts the signals, your nerve signals. So it doesn't stop you from feeling the pain. It stops the pain signals from getting to your brain. But opioids actually stop you from feeling the pain. And so when I took the Vicodin, it was the first time in like 10 years I had been pain-free, and I didn't realize how much pain I was in constantly. So that was mind-numbingly changed. And so I think I was only allowed like one dose every like 8 hours. And part of that I was asleep for. So the next day when I took my dose, I already noticed that my second dose did not affect me anywhere near as much as the first. And I could already tell that I would need more to get the same pain relief, which I didn't take because that terrified me. And by the time I was done with, I think I had like 4 or 5 days worth of Vicodin that I could take. By the time I got to the end of my regimen, it was doing next to nothing. So I developed tolerances extremely quickly. And so anytime I take medication, I make sure that it is the word, like I cannot function without taking it. And that's true. Like I have anti-nausea meds. I will only take them when I am so nauseous that I can't function, and I can't just lie in bed and can get through it, because if I take them too often, my brain will get used to it and they'll be useless. So anyway, so migraines. The past like week or two, I think I've already said this, but again, my brain doesn't work. I've been having like multiple migraines a day, and it has been remarkably difficult to just function. And absolutely no idea why. They just decided that they want to happen, and it really, really sucks. And it's, yeah. And so I'm getting both the pain ones, and then I also will just randomly get these migraine auras that make it impossible for me to read, or like watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. Especially if there's any, I have this weird thing where if text appears on anything, my brain has to read it. I can't, like if there's subtitles on the screen, I can't actually watch the movie. I have to read all the subtitles. And so I generally don't like watching things subtitled because I can't actually watch what's going on. I have to focus entirely on the subtitles. And yeah, so if I can't read the subtitles, it doesn't mean that I stop focusing on them. It just means I keep staring at them in the blurry, jumbled mess that they are, and keep trying to read them and get more and more frustrated. So yeah, any YouTube videos that have, like, especially like shorts where they always have subtitles on them, because that's the style, it extremely frustrates me because I enjoy shorts. But I can't watch them when I'm having one of my auras because I can't understand what's going on in the thing because I'm focused on trying to read the text that looks like they wrote 4 different things there. So, yeah, my brain is fucked up, folks. But yeah, if you have a friend that suffers from like diagnosed migraines, maybe be nice to them because it really, really sucks. And if you claim you have a migraine and you've never been diagnosed and it's just a bad headache, maybe don't call it a migraine because they really, really fucking suck. And maybe learn what a migraine actually is and be very thankful that you don't experience them because they suck. But anyway, that is my very uplifting video for today. Again, I have no idea how long this is going on, but it feels good to do a video a day. So I've done it for 2 days in a row. Hooray. Anyways, again, that is all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.